माधव कुंज बिहारी जय श्री श्री निताय गौरचंद्र भगवान की, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। First canto, 13th chapter, text 43. यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् संयोग विगमाविह इच्छया क्रीडितुः स्याताम् तथैवेśecchayā नृणाम् यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् saṁyoga-vigamāv icchayā क्रीडितुं syātāṁ tathaiveśecchayā nṛṇām yathā krīḍopaskarāṇām saṁyoga-vigamāv icchayā क्रीडितुः syātāम् tathaiveśecchayā nṛṇām। यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् संयोग-विगमाविह इच्छया क्रीडितुं स्याताम् तथैवेśecchayā नृणाम्। यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् संयोग-विगमाविह इच्छया क्रीडितुं स्याताम् तथैवेśecchayā नृणाम्। यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् संयोग-विगमाविह इच्छया क्रीडितुः स्याताम् तथैवेśecchayā नृणाम्। माताजी। यथा क्रीडोपस्कराणाम् संयोग-विगमाविह इच्छया क्रीडितुः स्याताम् तथैवेśecchayā नृणाम्। Word to word meaning. Yatha, as much as. Krīḍa-upaskarāṇāṁ, playthings. Saṁyoga, union. Vigamau, disunion. Iha, in this world. Icchayā, by the will of. Krīḍitum, just to play a part. Syātāṁ, takes place. Tathā, so also. Eva, certainly. Isha, the Supreme Lord. Icchayā, by the will of. nṛṇām, of the human beings. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. As a player sets up and disperses his playthings according to his own sweet will, so the supreme will of the Lord brings men together and separates them. Purport. We must know for certain that the particular position in which we are now set up in an arrangement of the Supreme Will in terms of our own acts in the past. The Supreme Lord is present as a localized Paramatma in the heart of every living being, as it is said in the Bhagavad Gita 13.23, and therefore He knows everything of our activity in every stage of our lives. He rewards the reaction of our actions by placing us in some particular place. A rich man gets his son born with a silver spoon in his mouth. But the child who came as a rich man's son deserves such a place, and therefore he is placed there by the will of the Lord. And at a particular moment when the child has to be removed from that place, he is also carried by the will of the Supreme. Even if the Lord, even if the child or the father does not wish to be separated from the happy relation. The same thing happens in the case of a poor man also. Neither rich man nor poor man has any control over such meetings or separations of living being. The example of a player and his playthings should not be misunderstood. One may argue that since the Lord is bound to avoid the reactionary results of our own actions, the example of player cannot be applied. But it is not so. We must always remember that the Lord is the supreme will and He is not bound by any law. Generally, the law of karma is that one is awarded the result of one's own actions, but in special cases, by the will of the Lord, such resultant actions are changed also. But this change can be affected by the will of the Lord only and no other. Therefore, the example of the player cited in this verse is quite appropriate. For the Supreme Will is absolutely free to do whatever He likes. And because He is all perfect, there is no mistake in any of His actions or reactions. These changes of resultant actions are especially rendered by the Lord when pure devotee is involved. It is assured in the Bhagavad Gita 9:30-31 that the Lord saves a pure devotee who has surrendered unto Him without reservation from all sort of reactions of sins. And there is no doubt about this. There are hundreds of examples of reactions changed by the Lord in the history of the world. If the Lord is able to change the reactions of one's past deeds, then certainly he is not himself bound by any action or reaction of his own deeds. He is perfect and transcendental to all laws. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagarajatan Sahagana Raghunatam Nitamtam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Nitamcha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुसे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, Prabhuji was supposed to give class. Hare Krishna. I welcome everyone for today's morning Bhagavatam discussions. Prabhuji was supposed to give class, but with some arrangements, I've been asked. So, today we are going through this wonderful sections of teachings of Narad Muni, who came at the right place to instruct Yudhishthir Maharaj about the different morose situation he was going through. So, to understand these things, actually, it's very deep subject matter. The intervention of, because subject matter of uh, this philosophy is quite deep. It is being nicely, it is being given in Vedas, but to to tell in very lucid way is a wonderful work of Prabhupada, yeah, which made easy for all of us also. So Bhagavatam gives this all philosophy in a way that we can understand, and that too with the purports Prabhupada has given. So wonderful glorification comes in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, 24th chapter, 318 verse. कृष्ण तुल्य भागवत विभु सर्वाश्रय, प्रति श्लोके प्रति अक्षरे नानार्थकय. Actually, this Bhagavatam, because being very similar, is not similar, is Krishna. So it has various meaning. There is like Krishna does various activities, various he fulfills various purposes to one activity. Similarly, Bhagavatam also reveals various meanings. Not only in one sloka, in every akshara, every word has different meaning, which reveal to the devotee as per his surrender. So Prabhupada has given wonderful way. Otherwise, understanding the Vedas is very difficult. In Bhagavatam 11th canto, 21st chapter, 36th sloka, it comes शब्द ब्रह्म सुदुर्बोधम प्राणेन्द्रिय मनोमयम अनंतपारम गंभीरम durvigrayam samudravat. So it is said that that knowledge of Veda is samudravat. Sudurbodham. It is very difficult to understand. Anantaparam. It is very vast also. Gambhiram. It is very deep. Gambhir. So and durvigrayam. To understand also, to understand ourselves is also very difficult. How much? Just like Samudra. Samudra is so deep. So, and there are different levels of understanding also. One will get, because sound is on different level. It is said that sound has different four levels: para sound, paschati sound, madhyama sound, vaikari sound. So understanding these Vedic subject matters is very difficult, but it is very nicely, lucidly Prabhupada has given in a way that we can understand. Just like here also, the analogy of player is given. So a player's analogy, because we may have different conception. That's why Prabhupada is explaining that how to understand that analogy also. Because we may think, okay, some if the some player is arranging the things. Generally in today's play, like football or anything we take, the player generally he don't arrange the thing, he plays, and then umpire or somebody, then he gives the decision. So here the analogy is given of that player arranging things. So generally this analogy is for like puppet show or something like that, where he only arrange the things. So so then he like previous days they had different plays, and now we play little differently. We have our innovative ways of playing. So it suits more for that particular scenario, and that is why even in when Narad Muni section in 167, there also when he is narrating to Vasudev about what things happened, there also he gives the analogy of Krishna arranging things as puppeteer. So here, yathā krīḍopaskarāṇāṁ saṁyoga-vigamāv. So player arranging means you can more nicely understand through the puppeteer's analogy, that how he is arranging things. He thinks closer and makes people go away. Saṁyoga-vigamāv. So generally in puppet show, people we might have seen sometimes that he brings. Generally, they have some scene of some function of marriage or something like that, where people comes together, people goes away. So saṁyoga-vigamāv is given like that. Icchayā krīḍituḥ syātāṁ. So just like his desire prevails, he can from by his hand he can bring the people together and make them go away. Similarly, tathaiveśecchayā nṛṇām. Similarly, the desire of Supreme Lord, and Prabhupada very nicely translated, sweet will of the Lord. So sometimes Prabhupada gives purport in his translation also. So this is one of the purport. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, while explaining that there is no sun and moon in spiritual world. So Prabhupada said that there is no electricity also. So Prabhupada's purport in his translations. So this saṁyoga-vigamāv happens, and it is the law of this world. So many people, when previous people, like old people, they say, okay, yeah, this is the way of life. So they have some philosophy, that's why they say. But just having philosophy, we will not understand that how saṁyoga-vigamāv happens. Just like Krutiditi, she was telling, okay, why Lord, Lord has taken away my child, but I think he don't understand how the living entities relationships are there, how people stay in this world. That is why, out of his lack of knowledge, he is doing like this. That after so many days and years, I got this child, and now this child is being taken away. So different reaction happened to this saṁyoga and viyoga. Krutiditi was she started blaming the Lord, and when Narad Muni, when he saw that his mother was being bitten up by the snake, so he was telling, oh, by good fortune, my mother was taken away. And then he kept that body inside the house and put that house on the fire. So saṁyoga-vigamāv will happen, but when we know the philosophy, or when we understand how it is a sweet will of the Lord, then the reaction will happen. So Prabhupada is telling the sweet will is to, just like Narad Muni, he understood that, oh, this is the will of the Lord, and this will has to be sweet. It is not it is not that he is doing because he want to give some trouble. So Krishna's arrangement is not to just give us some trouble. Krishna, as being a Supreme Father, he never wanted to trouble us. So we may think that, okay, this saṁyoga-vigamāv happened, saṁyoga-vigamāv happens in case of devotees also. Oh, I'm having very nice relationship with some devotees, and with devotees also it will happen or not. So Radhagovind Swami Maharaj was telling once that if we value the devotees, then separation may not happen. But in other ways, even if we value devotees, they may go away, just like many Prabhupada disciples shares, that Prabhupada went on his disappearance day, but later he remains more nicely in our heart, more close to our heart, when we were following his instructions. So in association of devotees, that's why we have to value the devotees and help them remind about Krishna. By that way we can serve them. So in purport, Prabhupada is telling that how the will of Lord matters. Generally, living entity thinks that prakrute kriyamanani gune karmani sarvasya, just like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that he thinks that I am only the doer. But we have to understand that Krishna is doer. That famous saying goes, no? Allah ki marji ke bina. Yeah, we can say Bhagwan ki Krishna ki also. So whenever we see some imperfection in the arrangement of the Lord, it is not Krishna's imperfection, it is our own imperfection to see Krishna's perfection. So Krishna does everything perfectly. Because we are in this material world bound by the three modes of nature, Daiviyesha Gunamai, Maya, Duratya. Krishna himself is telling that his Maya is very difficult to cross over. Because we are being bound in these three modes, it is very difficult to cross over. As the things are governed, we are in control of Krishna, either directly or indirectly. Directly, we will be when we are taking his shelter, we are associating with devotees, or indirectly through modes, through material energy. So, as Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, that when we take shelter of Krishna, then situation can be reversed. So there are various stories in Bhagavatam that tells about how by taking shelter of the Lord changed the entire situations. Krishna says, in Bhagavatam it says that Samashritaye padapallavam mahat padam punya yasho murari. So this material ocean, though it is very difficult to cross over, when we take shelter of the Lord, then this big material ocean will be very small, like a puddle of calf's footprint. So when it will be very simple when we take shelter of the Lord. Of course, we take shelter of the Lord through devotees and holy name. So there is a nice story in terms of Srimad Gajendra in Srimad Bhagavatam, that how Gajendra, he took shelter of the Lord. Before that, he was thinking, oh, I am the king. Though he was in such a situation as being elephant, which is considered a dumb animal, but he was thinking that I am very nice. He was thinking, okay, I am enjoying with my family. All his subjects were very obedient to him. I am having big jungle as my surrounding area, what I survey. Or he was having wonderful fruits and wonderful nice flowers in that jungle. So everything was well. But when everything is well, or when we take it for our pleasure, then at a sudden moment it happened that it is being taken away. And then we cry out for the Lord. If we cry out, then it will be nice. Otherwise, we keep on going in our cycle of birth and death. So impression of this material world for us is like it should go down very nicely. But at certain moment the things are taken away. Actually, every moment things are taken away from us, but we don't recognize, and then Krishna, out of his sweet will, he has to give some jerk. Basically, in case of sadhakas. So every moment things are taken away. There are 4 kind of pralaya actually. So there is one pralaya which happened at every moment. Things are creation is happening and destruction is happening, but we don't see it. Krishna don't want to give us jerk, but when we are in our cozy situation like Gajendra, then he wanted to bring us back. So that's why sometimes he gives jerk. But as you said that if we don't understand, when we don't pass the test, then the test will come again. So it is up to us how nicely we give that test. Even there is no need of giving test if before that only we understand. So it is not that everybody will get some situation where he will be tested, but before only he understand, then he need not to test also. So yeah, and more Prabhupada says about the intervention of the Lord. So we'll see that also. So how there was the intervention in the life of Gajendra, that was by through this crocodile. So crocodile also got some mercy. Apparently, she may be like, one may say she is just a animal of water, and she was doing her duty. Gajendra was having a previous intervention, previous curse, but because of that, he was being put in awkward condition. So crocodile was doing her own things, but by doing her own things, but being in a vicinity of Gajendra, she also got mercy. For her, it might be just a another day meal, but by being in in this pastime, she also got delivered by the arrangement of the Lord. So Gajendra, when he was delivered by the Lord, so he was not just asking for him to get delivered from this condition of crocodile, but he was actually praying for the Lord, and he remembered his previous life prayers, and he was thinking that he was desiring to have association of Lord. Otherwise, he could have said, Lord, now you have relieved me. Now you can go for next lila in next universe or something like that. But he was offering prayer in a way that Krishna, I want to serve you. I want to be your eternal associate. So it happens with sadhaka that we sometimes very intensely we pray, and that time we are thinking, Krishna, just this time you give me this thing. After that, I will become very sincere, or I will do these things very perfectly. At least chanting, at least morning, I will do very nicely. This much we promise Krishna. Krishna, this situation is very worse. After that, I will understand. I will not prepare myself. Or we sometimes we say, this class, let this go nicely. Next time I will prepare very nicely. At least today, I am not able to complete the preparation, something like that. So we pray to Lord like this, and after that we forget. So for Gajendra, it was not the case. So more we prepare ourselves in other situations, just like there is saying for the soldiers that more we sweat in the peace, least we bleed in the war. So for Gajendra, it was not just a situation, but it was a situation which after because after that he went to the spiritual world. Krishna took him. So we have to see that how much we are learning from the test. If we don't learn, Krishna have to arrange one more crocodile in our own life. So it is up to us how we take the situation. So so then Prabhupada is telling that how the intervention of the Lord makes the changes. And intervention of Lord has happened through devotees also. Many a times it happens. At least for us, it is through devotees. That is intervention of Lord, but it is happening through devotees. There is very nice Vaishnava song. It says that Emona durmati samsara vitare puriyachi nuami. Then he says later that how your associate, he came and he informed me about that there is some center, there is some voice. There you can go. But when we have doubt, sometimes we say, no, okay, can I do this? Then he said, like you, many have been delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and you can also go. He says it further in song. Tomar tarite Sri Krishna Chaitanya Navadipe avatar. So he said that how in Navadip Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken incarnation, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, Krishna has come personally, and he can deliver whom? He has already delivered many sinful people. So you are also have rightful claim. So by Lord's intervention comes in our life through devotees, and for us it comes through various means. And many devotees say that how Prabhupada came to their life through books. So book is also one intervention. So Krishna tried to intervene in our life. Like many times we go for book distribution and we say, I want to give, we approach somebody and we intervene in their life because being allowed to be the instrument in Krishna's hand. But when that person denies, then we feel little bad. But we don't remember how many times devotees are reminding me. That time I said no. So at least, but that time we can say, oh, Krishna was approaching through Prabhupada's books and he denied. So Gaurang Prabhu was telling once that whenever we distribute books and whenever other person says no, we can think that, oh, I somehow devotees approached me and I said yes, so fortunate I am. Otherwise, I also would have been like this, being approached by devotees, but I denied. Or even sometimes services, devotees approach, we denied. When it coming through the authority, then we could understand. One devotee once early morning was chanting his japa, and Rajsham Prabhu shares this story that when some manager approached him for maybe some dressing of the deities, that time he was telling that, oh, I don't want to do this service. Then Rajsham Prabhu has to convince him that think this as some service coming from Lord directly. If Lord would have approached you right now, would have said no? No. But now the manager had approached, though manager approached, you think that Lord has approached through him because he has authority. So through Prabhupada's places like which Prabhupada say that Vaikuntha, devotees approach us for some service, small or big. But if you deny, then we have to think actually. Of course, many times it happened, we have to deny it. But we can we can at least think that, okay, this service coming from Krishna. And the Krishna also approach more vividly through two things. As Madhya Lila, it is said that Prabhu kahe Vaishnav seva nama sankirtan dui kar shigra pabe Shri Krishna charan. So these two things, service to the devotees and chanting of the holy name. These two, or through holy name, Krishna is approaching us. So through that we can accept Krishna in our life. In one another Vaishnava song, it is said that Vaishnavera Avedana Krishna Doyamay. So there also it is being that we can approach Krishna through devotees. Means by approaching devotees will approach Krishna on our behalf. Devotees will console Krishna, because Krishna is their property. So by that we can approach Krishna, or our mercy comes through devotees. So both the way, this is in other way, like that. There is famous pastimes of Prabhupada, when Prabhupada has taken one Krishna doll of Saraswati, and she was searching, where is Krishna, where is Krishna? So immediately her mother said that, Saraswati, who has Krishna? Then she said, Prabhupada has Krishna. And then he goes and asks Prabhupada, and Prabhupada gives. So devotees has Krishna, and when we serve them, when we please them by serving, then they can give. And also Krishna has come in the form of holy name. Krishna is their property. In Amrish Maharaj section also, Krishna says that, Aham bhakta paradino hiya satantraiva dija sadhu bhirigrasta rudayo bhaktair bhakta jana priya. Aham bhakta paradina. I am bound by my devotees. I am their property. And even holy name, when we chant holy name with prayers, feelings and affection, then holy name also can, holy name is also Krishna coming in our lives. But we have to have faith that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prayam Sadhya Gobunai Sravanadi Shuddha Chitte Koriya Viday. Whatever situation I am in, by this intervention of holy name, Krishna's intervention in the terms of holy name will purify us. And that is being purified. Many people have been purified, like we see in the life of how Prabhupada went to the Western world, as we are celebrating the Holy Name Week, that how so many of them were delivered. So in just day before yesterday's drama also, they have been showing that how Prabhupada, through his mercy, so many people are delivered by taking him holy name, by Bhagavatam. It is not just a mere saying that aho bata so pachuto gariyam yajjivagre artate namatubhyam. Just by chanting holy name, sometimes we chant some mantra nicely, and then other time we are not able to chant. And then we remember, oh, it is being said that at least once you take shelter of the Lord, and then you will achieve Krishna. But we see, many in between, I know out of 16 rounds, many rounds were gadbad, but sometimes I chanted. So what happened? But because Krishna is giving us opportunity to take his shelter by regularly trying to take his shelter. Krishna want us to take always shelter, and he arranges in between situation. That in between situation is supposed to help other chant other mantras nicely. It is not that only taking help of that mantras we should do the things or we cover up our things. So this various circumstances comes by which we have to understand that because I am not taking shelter all the time, Krishna is giving us opportunity to take shelter all the time, like that. So various places also it is mentioned that how in Brahma Samhita it is mentioned that how Krishna takes away all our reactions. Karma nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. So Krishna takes away our sins when we are sincerely approaching to him. So, and at the end, Prabhupada also mentioned that Lord himself is not bound. Okay, of course, Lord is bound by the will of the devotees, and very nicely mentioned in the even Damodar Leela also, that how he is bound by the ropes of love, affection of his devotees. But he is not bound by these laws of nature. To the extent that one who takes shelter of the Lord, he also will not be bound by the laws of nature. Etad ishanam ishasya prakrutisthavi tadgunais. Those who are bound by this prakriti, by taking shelter of the Lord and his devotees, they will be freed from these gunas. And Krishna then Krishna is bound by the will of the devotees. If devotee says that no, in 3 days I will give Govind Bhashya, then Lord makes arrangement that how he will give Govind Bhashya, just like being said in the drama. Devotees says that okay, devotees even want that, oh, I want to worship Krishna. Krishna should be there. I want to go to his abode, but I can't go. Then Krishna makes arrangement that he himself goes to devotees abode. Just like Dwarkanath came from Dwarka to Dakor. They were showing in history. So devotees will, and it is even to carry Krishna, even he came to Dakor, but from Dakor, from Gomati, lake, to coming to the actual place, there also these kings, they were not able to move Lord. So that movement also happened by will of the devotees. So he said that I can't come my way. If some devotees or his devotees, Gangamai, she brings, then I will come. So Krishna doesn't want to leave a little bit, and that's what happened in his Archa incarnation also. He don't want to take any service. He don't want to do anything by himself. He comes by to accept service of the Lord. So by worshipping the Lord, by serving the Lord, giving him bhoga, by that Krishna is giving us opportunity to serve him. So Krishna don't take himself, he gives us opportunity to serve him. So various instances, Prabhupada is telling that there are thousands of instances that how devotees will binds Krishna. So actually Bhagavatam is full of that only, that how devotee overpower the will of Krishna. Krishna might have said something. Devotees can change even Krishna's will also by the mercy of Krishna. So yeah, one more section. So devotee himself, one more things I want to discuss, that Krishna, devotee does not ask for his own need. Krishna devotee doesn't ask Krishna's intervention also for his own need, but he asks for others. Just like Prahlad Maharaj, he was asking Krishna, he was praying Narasimha Dev, but he was saying that he don't have problem. He was praying to Narasimha Dev that I myself don't have problem of this material world. I can just sing your glories and I will stay in this material world. But I am more concerned about those fools and rascals who are in this material world. So his prayers, he's asking to the Lord for some favor, that is for others. And whenever devotee asks for himself also, then he will ask for, okay Krishna, if it is your will, Radhanath Maharaj was telling when Bhakti Charu Maharaj was in last days, he was telling that Prabhupada has taught us how to pray. How he has taught that Krishna, we want some devotees to be with us, but if it is your will, then please keep him here, like that. So how wonderfully Prabhupada has shown us that even if we have to pray for oneself or for devotees, we don't want them to separate. How to pray? That if it is your will, we may say, Krishna, we very much cherish their association, but if it is your will, then please keep him here, like that. So it is not just asking for oneself, but asking for others. And various places, Prabhupada, even when he went to the West, he just like the shloka tells that the puppeteer arranges the things. So Prabhupada was asking that Krishna, you make me your puppet. So devotee wants to act for pleasure of Lord or for others' sake. And Krishna not only make Prabhupada puppet, but through Prabhupada he made so many puppets. There was entire puppet show going on. And then Prabhupada, through Prabhupada's will and Prabhupada's strong desire and Krishna's will, he made entire, at least on those 10 years when Prabhupada was there on this planet, that entire puppet show was running. And everybody was thinking that how this is happening, how people, devotees are doing so much. And then Prabhupada wanted to make so many shows. When the drama become hits or when things become hit, then they want to make that show in other countries also. So Prabhupada brought that puppet show in India and various parts of the world also. So the big show, more we also have opportunity that how the Prabhupada made this show, we can also be part of that show. So we have that diamond of free will. We just pray to Krishna that I want to align my will to Krishna's will, then we can be the part of that show. Otherwise, in this material world, we keep on doing for ourselves. Even if we come to know, oh, Krishna consciousness is there, and I can, I have a chance to go to spiritual world, but the desire has not came still. That okay, I want to be a servant of Krishna. We want to stay in this material world, like. So even if Vaikuntha plane awaits, we will say, Krishna, please wait. I need to be here for more stay, so that I can act as per my way. We don't want to act by Krishna's way. So every time we will have some bait by Maya. So whether we want to take that Maya's bait or act as a Krishna's puppet, that is our desire. How we want to act. By aligning to the will of the Lord and superiors, then we can act in this puppet show also. So in drama, few people act. Of course, yesterday 70, 80 people were acting. But we can act in this puppet show by aligning ourselves to Krishna's will. But that will we will understand through devotees. So we have to surrender to devotees of the Lord. So surrendering to Krishna is by serving his devotees and taking shelter of holy name. Because through devotees and holy name, he has already intervened in our life. Now it is up to us how much to take shelter of it. So I will stop here. Just to summarize, how here Prabhupada is telling in the purport that Krishna is arranging as a puppeteer or as a player. Krishna is arranging things here in this material world, and how he gives examples of different personalities taking birth in rich or poor homes. That all happened by the will of the Lord. And will of the Lord also can it happens by the karma of living entity. But that karmas can be changed by the will of the Lord. So we saw through the example of Gajendra that how he took shelter of the Lord. For us, shelter may be available through by taking shelter of devotees and holy name. And we can also cross over this ocean of material existence, just like Gajendra crossed. And we can see our intervention of Lord through devotees, and more we surrender to them, more our life will be changed. And we saw the example of different devotees, they appreciating Krishna's intervention in their life. Okay, so I will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.